Ooh, H.O. Power Train, baby. I don't know if I should change my name from H.O. Power Train to H.P.T. Hobbies. How y'all doing? Hello, everybody's been watching the H.O. Power Train. We've been having great fun doing this stuff. Let's see. I'm trying to put on chat. Feel free to chat if you're in or whatever. It's a laid back chat. It's in the morning. I'm drinking my coffee, of course. Run my train. I haven't ran my train since yesterday. Ooh, a long time, huh? I mean, every chance I get, I come in here and run trains. But we're going to talk about affordability of hobbies. Like, it's a new year, 2025. Everything is still expensive. Nothing's getting cheaper. We can talk about that all day long, and I'm beating a dead horse, right? But this stream is going to be trying to help somebody out, okay? Trying to help like we always do. Trying to help somebody out and a beginner to, if they're getting into a hobby and they're not sure, of course this is a train channel, but they're not sure what to do. You could, for instance, example, you can buy Hot Wheels. Cheap hobby. I've always done it back and forth throughout the years. And it's a cheap thing to do, as in saving money. Okay, so if you're looking to get into a hobby and you're trying to save a little bit of money, Hot Wheel cars, Matchbox cars, even the cars you put together can start you off in a hobby budget wise. If you're looking into trains, as you can see up there, trains can get expensive because trains is just like any hobby, it's a business. A lot of people forget that trains is not just a hobby, it's also a money-making business like everything else. Suppliers build it, put it out to the consumer, and that's a very important thing. Not just the really big guys into trains and people spending a lot of money on the big guys with the magazines and stuff. Not just them contribute to model railroading, okay? Remember that if you can afford a train, you can afford scenery, you can afford things to do with the train hobby, you are contributing and you're not small, okay? Remember that. You are helping the industry grow, okay? So don't let nobody fool you. Don't let nobody lie to you on that end. That's the truth. We're in 2025 here and times are getting harder. People are struggling more often nowadays. And, they're just trying to make their bank, trying to make their bills. People are just trying to get along, trying to have a good time. That's where hobbies come in. And if you don't be careful, hobbies can get away from you. You can spend a lot of money. Ask me how I know, right? So, absolutely, we want to get back to this topic. Let me start my train up and we'll talk about it some more. What I'm drinking, regular black Folgers coffee. 1 second. Speaking of expense, this is a $300 90 Mac locomotive. I dropped it off the back of the layout the other day. You can see it all crushed into the freaking side. You can see that. Never touched it. Didn't want to go fix it. I like the character look. We lost some details on top and definitely lost some grills on the back here also. And we're talking about expense, and I'm dropping $300 freaking locomotives off a layout. If y'all been watching and following along, y'all know that I have not been buying locomotives because they're so expensive. They're not that it's a I'm complaining because a lot goes into these locomotives and they are expensive because of that, so I'm not complaining on that. It's just for me, I'm not spending no money on it right now, okay? Hopefully my internet's holding out okay for this live stream. And of course, I never set up my live stream so I can, so people can see it beforehand. Because I don't know when I'm gonna live. This is spur of the moment, and I live, and people can watch the replay. And when you do, leave me a comment down in the comment section. Let me know if you enjoyed it. But this is strictly for information and helping someone, okay? Like we always do on this channel. That's what we do. Speaking of which, I gotta go and clean up around those trees in that area, vacuum all that. So affordability on hobbies, man. Figure out, if you're new, figure out what you can afford. Um, Figure out what hobby you want to get into, what you think you're going to have most fun with. Again, I've been having a lot of fun with my Hot Wheel cars, as you can see down here. It's not just buying and collecting a Hot Wheel car, which that's a lot of fun with it too. You know, you buy these cars, you look at them on a shelf, they're just an awesome looking car, right? And for me, the way I collect on what I like. And that's what you have to start off. You can't just go into the Hot Wheel rack and start buying Hot Wheels, because you're not going to have no kind of attachment to it. So when you're collecting, collect on what you like, collect on what appeals to you. If you like Chevy Bel Air cars, you collect more Chevy Bel Air cars, right? You just old school looking cars, and whatever you like. That's the way I collect. This was a awesome car that y'all guys didn't see that I bought. I think this car was like $6, something like that. But there's, again, not just looking at it and sitting on a shelf. We tear them apart, we paint them, we add details to them, and make it look a lot different, right? You can get up into higher end stuff. It's like with this truck here. This truck is around 25 bucks, something like that. And it's got a lot of detail on that truck. Tailgate opens, real aluminum rims, awesome truck. So yeah, get what you can afford. And if you're doing a train layout, keep in mind that train layout is built over time, years. Unless you're building a small layout, it shouldn't take you that long, but it's still, you buy trees, you buy people, all this adds up and it gets expensive. And again, in the world we're living in today, of course, if you're not retired and you're still working like me, and you're working on, watching how much you got to spend, this stuff can get away from you really quick. So I got my train running right now, and hopefully it comes around. Hopefully I don't have to clean no track. Again, I do these lives on a spur of the moment, and I don't prep anything. It bites me in my ass, but it doesn't matter. It's the real world. We're not perfect here, and we don't perfect nothing here. Also, remember that this is H.O. Power Training. Let me go see what's going on in the back. Oh, big Saturday to myself. All week I've been rolling, man. I haven't stopped work. After the holidays are just crazy. Everybody wants something done, which is good for business, but it ain't good for my back and my legs. Up and down, back and forth. So we're kind of getting back to normal over here in 2025. Trying to settle back in and getting things going. This was a cool little found the other day. I did a short on it. I put out today. This is a $4 car. I love these little Beetle cars. Pretty little cars. It's a Decepticon Transformer car. Such a wild, wild, rad look. Look at all the detail in there. I mean, these Hot Wheels they're a hot topic, man. Very. I've been enjoying the process of tearing these things apart, building um these little racks, the lifts for these cars and stuff. I've just been having a lot of fun doing that. A smaller vehicle, but the detail you can get out of it is just remarkable. Affordability, affordability. That's what it's all about. So there's that train coming up. Ooh. Where you at? Right here? Not even back. I was amazed at dropping that thing off a freaking 4-foot table that it's running that good. It happens every time. Loose joint. We had a loose joint on that back part of the track. It seemed like I soldered everything together, but I must have missed one or two while I was building it. So yeah, guys, I don't want to drag this live on too long. I felt like coming and talking to you guys about affordability while it was on my mind. Yeah, affordability is going to be very important on any hobby you do, man. Um, that's what that's what's going to make your hobby go, in my opinion. Because if you run out of money, or if you run out of if you run out of funds while you're building it, your hobby comes to a standstill. Especially in the train world right here. Um, we talk about it a lot. A lot of people talk about it where they do say, trains are expensive, and they are. They're not lying, but it's what goes into the locomotive that makes it so expensive. So don't have bad feelings towards that, because that's just what it is. It's that's what it takes to build a locomotive. Cool scene. I built those 3D buildings. I 3D printed all that. I painted it. I did everything and built the little lifts again, built the jacks for the cars, did all that. I got to find some more files to see what I want to do. There's another building back there that I'm working on. Trying to figure out how. Well, actually, I'm trying to figure out the placement on my railroad with these buildings. I know that 164 cars can work with it, with your railroad. You just got to know how to place it. And always place it in the forefront of your railroad, because it'll give the illusion of depth. I haven't been wanting to buy any train cars lately. I just haven't been wanting to spend too much on the railroad lately. I don't know. It just, I guess, because I've done it for so long, I'm kind of pulling back on getting a break on it right now. You know, the famous thing people like to say, well, who likes to see a train run in a circle? Her. Well, who likes to see a train go back and forth? You know, it goes both ways. But yeah, basically, your train's traveling through scenery is what's most important that you can see. But and when you're dealing with model railroad, addressing the fact that people say it's going in a circle and it can get boring, is totally missing the point. Unless you can drag a giant locomotive into your building, put it in here, and look at it just, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm getting at? It's a freaking model railroad. Point of going and returning is awesome so you can see it go through scenery. Um, that's what we like to do. And of course, you got to build your layout so you can enjoy your layout. That's where you get your enjoyment out of your layout, is when you're building it, right? So yeah, it can go both ways. People say it's boring in a circle. Well, it's boring doing this, back and forth like that. That's boring. Dopey, can you make a heel on the track and use more than one engine to pull? Uh, I've did concerts before, Dopey. Yeah, I did concerts. I can make a video of that. Oh yeah. DCC. Oh man, DCC. Cool. People will blame bad manufacturers. They will blame train companies for their problems running on the track. Well, they got to understand that DCC works on a wavelength. Okay, you cannot measure DCC with um, generic multimeters. You have to buy special equipment to measure DCC. Because of that, DCC works on a different form of wavelength and signaling to your locomotive. And if your track is not clean and your wheels are not clean to the T, your DCC locomotives will give you trouble. And the first thing people do when they don't realize that that's what's going on, they blame the manufacturer, they blame the decoder, they blame this and that. But a lot of times it's track and wheels in the setup. What's the maximum grade can you use on the track? Dopey, depends on which locomotive I'm using. I got 3.5 to 4% in some places on my layout. So yeah, when people see their train spitting, sputtering, oh, BLI gets a bad rap for that. And I kind of was believing that at first because I was hearing that a lot, and when you hear that notion a lot, you tend to believe that. Until I realized that the track is dirty, understanding how finicky DCC is, and understanding that wheels need to be clean makes all the difference on the DCC world. So if I have a DCC engine spitting and sputtering, and I take it off the track and put a DC locomotive right behind it and fire up my DC, it'll take off and run because DC is more forgiving to dirty track. So that's a good point. Somebody looking to get into the train hobby and they don't want to fight their layout, they don't want to constantly chase track cleaning. Build it DC. And it's not so hard to switch over to DCC. Everybody thinks that you need all this special equipment to switch over to DCC. Wrong. Furthest from the truth. You don't need that. You just need to shut power off, isolate your DCC when you're not using it, and put your DC on it. You know, it's not rocket science. those tips that I gave is proven. I've did it over here, and DC does run better than DCC. DCC is going to be more on the, if you're filming it or you're showing your stuff off, if and you want that epic realism front view of things with the lights, the sound, and hearing the bells come across your signals, and you're doing all this other sophisticated stuff, then yeah, DCC is definitely for you. But if you just want a train running through scenery, the circle, like they like to say it, the boring circle, don't pay no attention to that, guys. The boring circle is awesome. Through scenery, it's even better, right? So DC would be more forgiving to that. Okay. So yeah, you'll hear groups get together and they'll start talking about things in their groups, try to figure things out, and they're gonna start talking about different things. Uh, some information could be worthy, but they're learning themselves. So do your own research, do what you know works, and don't follow the crowd on that part. Figure out it on your own and what works for you, and you'll see that your layout comes together better for you. Everybody's got their own opinion, which is fine. But when you're in those different things, talking about different things like that, it can be skewed out so much where you'll be confused and you won't know what to do. So don't get lost in groups, forums, or anything like that. Okay. Figure out what you want to do, what works for you, and you go from there. The main things on a model railroad, of course, is radiuses. Like we always talk about, is your radiuses. 18 minimum, 22 inch is dead on, and anything above 22 inch, your ship shape, right? Um, Radius is going to be very important. Soldering your track is going to be very important. If you don't use great glue to glue your stuff down and you're using nails, gap your rails. Make sure you gap your rails, because if you're nailing your track, you're nailing it so many inches apart from each other, and if you don't gap them, they will kink. Okay. I have a forced glue down on my track where the force of my track being glued to the layout supersedes the force of it buckling, so it will not buckle. Okay. A nail, cheaper glue, and sporadic gluing will buckle when heat changes. Okay. If you buy a new train and bring it inside after being in the cold, do you let it warm to room temp? If you buy a new train and bring it in inside after being out in the cold, or you just run it right there? I wouldn't see a problem with bringing it onto your track and letting it run dopey. What I do on a break-in, I'll put my train onto the track and I'll freewheel it for 10 seconds. Then I'll run it. It's kind of like a break-in, but I've never had any problems. In the back part of my shed, it stays cold. And when I fire my locomotives up, they take right off. So I have no trouble with cold. The heat, it getting hot, I can see problems with it getting hot. Yeah. Cold, I don't see any problems with that. It gets as low as 30 degrees back there, and I don't have any trouble. I don't know if it'll get any, if it gets any colder than that. I don't see you having any trouble as long as it's lubricated with thin oil. I know some like say let it go to room temperature before operating. Maybe, yeah. Well, a manufacturer will tell you that, so uh, it don't break. I would guess they're protecting themselves. Um, I never had no trouble, not yet. In 3 years I've been doing it, This is my third winter. I passed back there. I have no problems. Hard for me to say it. I mean, that's getting down technical. Uh, yeah, I wouldn't know on that part. Heat, I would say heat. If it gets too hot, yeah, you'll have some trouble with the heat. Because electronics, that's number one thing electronics hate is heat. Too much heat, right? It has to be just that normal amount of heat. Um, the cooler, to me, the cooler the electronic runs, the better off it is. Heat kills electronics, period. What else? What other advice that I've learned over here? Um, yeah, I mean, basically, that's the rundown of it. Don't be afraid of laying track. Get your radius right. If you're afraid to put radiuses, I have these radiuses on my layout. Okay, I have preset radiuses set up here. 22-inch all the way to 24-inch radiuses. They're preset, where the track are formed already, and you snap them together. The thing you do with that, you solder that, so you know your radius is right. That's what I have here. Like in this dog bone of the right there on that camera, preset track. So if you're afraid to take flex track and start flexing it, I can understand. I was afraid to at first with N scale. And you're trying to come back into your track, that's where you mess up, is when you're forming it back into your straights, because you don't really know what that radius is. And when your train comes out your known radius that you put and it hits that going into that straight track, that's where you have problems. Hello, Willow Creek. How you doing, man? So yeah, that's a lot of good information. That's known information, and as you can see, my train's running great. It's coming right back in here. Just as good as gold. At 90 Mac, it's a larger locomotive, and I was afraid that that thing wouldn't run on 18-inch radius. I was like, there's no way that was going to run on the 18-inch radius. I bought the damn thing, put it on 18-inch radius, fired right up, Cadillac across that 18-inch radius. It's a myth with radiuses. People thinking radiuses are too small, like an 18-inch. I pulled long passenger cars on it. Never had no trouble. The overhang don't look the best, but if you put trees where you overhang far enough from your track, you'll hide that. It's a model railroad, right? uh, there's a lot that you can do, especially on space constraints with HO scale model railroading. Yeah, we don't sugarcoat nothing here, guys. You watching this on replay? We don't sugarcoat nothing here. We tell the truth the way it is, and you want to get it out the horse's mouth the way it is. Because I mean, if it works, why does it seem like it doesn't work out there in the bigger world? And I'm looking at it here like it's working here. Is it magic? uh, yeah. Granted, I have a couple of spots that I could fix. Maybe one or two spots on my layout, as big as the layout is, that I could fix to make it 100 proof. Um, I can run pretty much all manufacturers except one or two exceptions. Okay. Um, Athens run great, Walters run great, Bachman run great. Who else? Rapido run great. That's all I need. And one day I'll get and fix a couple of little spots, which is not bad, on the layout. So yeah. And we got off a topic from affordability, huh? But the biggest thing is do your homework. Make sure you know what you're diving into, and figure out exactly what you want to mess with. DC, DCC. If you're by yourself, and you don't plan on filming this stuff, and You're minimized. It don't pay to go to DCC when all you want to do is see a train run through scenery. Half the time I got my sound turned off these trains. So, ah, there goes mine. Makes it continue to run that DCC locomotive. I got the track ship shape right now, and we don't have any problems at all. Zero problems. Uh, of course, we're in the winter right now, and it is getting cold back there. I thought I would have more problems with the humidity. Nope, no problems. I cleaned the track about 2 weeks ago, and we're doing pretty good. Yep, Willow Creek, I'm with you, man. DC, much easier. It is. It is. When you're by yourself uh, and you just want to see trains run, why not DC? I just, yeah, DC. It DC has not played out all the years. DC when they started, it has not played out since they came on board. DC is a good. It's a good thing. Much easier. DCC, especially for me, is gonna be in the yards where when I'm filming, you want to see the lights, you want to hear the sounds of the locomotive, the bells, the whistles, and you're getting down with it. That's when it's fun to see DCC. Um, but DC, you looking for a train to run through your layout, let it roll, right? Oh yeah, I'm pretty much at a standstill right now in the back of my layout. If anybody was wondering, um, I'm kind of letting the winter pass, let it warm up a little bit, and I'll jump back on them scenes. I'm trying to narrow that area down where the industry's at. But I gotta buy more switchers. There's a lot more I gotta buy, so I gotta take my time and get it over time. So yeah, do what you want. Do what the hell you want to do. Research is most important when you're building your layout. Getting it right from the beginning is going to save you a lot of trouble from the start. Okay. And if you don't want a boring layout, make sure you put you a loop. Feel free always to chat, comment. Don't be afraid, guys. Let me know your thoughts. That's what we're here for. And always come in H.P.T Powertrain and leave your thoughts. That's what we're about: learning, helping, getting things going. Definitely encouraging, say, and saying it can be done, because anything can be done, right? It can be done. Yes, it's summer over here, so I'm picking and choosing what days I'm on. Yeah. Okay. Well, look, where are you from, man? Definitely know what you mean. I have to get 3 turnouts this week. Yeah, turnouts. I'm glad you brought that up. Turnouts, man. Turnouts, NHO scale for me can be expensive. Um, I have Atlas turnouts all on my layout except one part on my layout where I have Pico. Here's the downfall with Pico, why I'm upset with Pico switches, okay? For me, this is my experience with Pico. I buy two Pico switches. I think they were number 4. Both Pico switches, getting them here, were around 50, 60 something bucks. I forgot what it was. No, it was more than that. I'm going to be safe and say it was around 65 bucks. It probably was more than that. So I get them. And the problem with Pico switches is power routing. Okay, they have the ones I had got is power routing. So where you snap it, the blade has to hit the rail for it to pick up power. Okay, so if you're relying on a Pico switch just on the blade to pick up power, totally not the good thing to do. Because when you're taking your switch and hitting your rail to pick that power up, if you get it dirty inside, it's not going to pick power. You're going to be pulling your hair out, figuring out why you're not getting power beyond that. So what I did, I had to jump the switches. Okay. So I'm thinking, getting back to Pico, if I got to jump switches, paying high price for them, don't really like the style and don't like the frog setup, the unifrog setup. So when my train hits them, every once in a while they will derail on a Pico unifrog. So I got to drill it. So if I got to do all that, why not get an Atlas where you get the power throughout it, you don't have to do nothing, and I have no trouble with Atlas. So that's what was confusing. You hear all this saying Atlas is so bad, this and that, and you keep seeing this repetitiveness and hearing the repetitiveness of Atlas being so bad. And you're like, well, maybe they're all bad, you know? But running it on my layout, I have no trouble. So that's why I'm a believer in Atlas switches, not Pico. Each his own, you know. Everybody got their own reasons, but for me, that's how I feel towards Pico, and they're expensive, you know. Um, New Zealand, okay, wow, yeah. So yeah, that was people was like, well, why you don't get Pico? You know, I had some people ask me, why you didn't get Pico? Why this? Pico's better. I have no trouble with Atlas track or Pico switches. So I'm like, it's cheaper, it works. I know how Atlas is. It's got power routing throughout the whole switch. I put power here, I don't have to do anything. So both those Picos I have back there, if they keep derailing by the industry, I'm just gonna rip them out and put Atlas. So it's mixed feelings, you know. That's the way I see it. Maybe I think in N scale you can have trouble with Atlas switches. I don't know. If somebody knows, let me know. I think somebody said that the other day. I never had the problem with losing power, but I don't have the Unifrog. I have all Pico. But most of them turn 30. Yeah, they're expensive. Yeah. Yeah, mine is on the blade, and when you put power before that blade and check it, of course it's power routing. If it gets dirty, it can lose power. I had that problem already, so I jumped them and I didn't have any problems no more. But great, yeah, absolutely. And of course, I'm in a building in the back, and that could be a lot of the issue too, getting that extra dirt. I feel that, yeah. My thing was the bashing of Atlas. You know, that was my thing. You know, people tearing Atlas apart, and you're like, why do that whenever it works? You know, that's what my thing was. Of course, you get groups, and when you get groups and you get people doing that, they all kind of form up and jump on that, which is pathetic in my opinion. There's old 90 Mac. Athearn, man. Athearn. Why I love Athearn so much? Athearn is the perfect balance between details, quality running, most forgiving running on my layout. Athearn is just 100% proof of my layout, man. I love Athearn. Walters, I love Walters. Rapido is awesome. But my number one train is going to be Athearn. I love it. Athearn just works. everybody got their thing that they like and they stick to, and that's what's most important. It's kind of like if you have something that works and runs good in your layout and it's proven, just keep running it. Oh my, the Infrafold, but I need a three-way turnout. I don't mash Atlas turnouts. I have a couple there, just aren't my thing, you know. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, no, absolutely. That's what I was saying. Huntsville sub. Oh yeah, each his own. Oh yeah, that was my experience. All this is all my experience. What I'm saying on my end. Yeah, I'm not weighing this on y'all guys or anything. I'm just saying what I see and what's on my end of things. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, don't take that to granted to heart or anything. You know. Absolutely. A three-way turnout. What I have back there for a three-way turnout? I think I have. What is it? Forgot what it was. But it is code 100, and I had to match it to my code 83. It worked out pretty good when I did it. Um, yeah, three with those things aren't cheap neither. Those things are what, like 80 bucks, 70 something bucks. Oh yeah. Yeah, that was the thing with me with Atlas and Pico, you know, for me. That was my experience. Kind of like saying they can't do it, you can't do it, but you're like, yeah, you can. That's how I took it. And absolutely. Coming back in there again, awesome. Or UPR, you yeah, you're HO, okay, that's right. I think anything. Well, let me not say that. No, I'm not gonna say that. You know, that's just how I feel. That's the way I feel. You know, that's how I feel towards things, and that's how I'm gonna continue running my stuff. 57, I think. Yeah, they're high, man. They're expensive. They know you need it. They're expensive. Getting back down to building track and building turnouts. Um, that's definitely not my thing to build turnouts. I just want to be able to buy a turnout and put it into my railroad, not having to chase any more problems. Because you'll already have enough problems to chase, you know. Even though how perfect you think you get a layout, unless you just got a straight back and forth track, you still have some tinkering to do with it to get it right, you know. Uh, definitely. So anybody new coming in, trying to figure out a cheaper alternative and making it affordable, just know that Atlas switches, Atlas track, everything with Atlas is good. It's okay to go. Okay, um, you can save a few bucks as you dive into Pico, Walders, and everything gets more expensive. Okay, but just know that if you're trying to save some money, you can with Atlas because it will work. Well, I started my layout 12 years ago, and when I started, I never really thought about getting one. Oh, let me get this on pause, guys. Phone call. Forgot what I was talking about. I'm code 100, very forgiving. Yeah, code 100 is good for yeah, your larger flanger over older locomotives. Yeah, I don't have that issue. I run newer stuff. A couple of older stuff I have, but nothing nothing that's going to jump off the track. But yeah, code 100, and code 100 is good. People are worried about the scale, but it's not that much of a difference, where you can actually see it. It's code 100, but if you're filming your stuff and you're seeing your train, who's going to be like, hey, that's not code 83? Nobody. They saying code 83 is more scale, but it doesn't make that much of a difference to me. Code 100, you've got to run the older stuff, so why not go code 100? Correct. Absolutely, will agree. I'm code 83 because in the beginning I was saying, well, I want to keep it scale, right? I want to be scale 100%, right? That was a notion I was thinking of, but as you move along with it, who cares, right? Yeah. I don't know if code 100 is even more plentiful than code 83. I don't know. Maybe they are. So yeah. Code 100. So yeah, that's the thing, guys. We're doing ringing in 2025, ringing in. Glad it's over with again. Getting back to normal, and just trying to have fun with our hobbies and watching the affordability of it until things in the economy starts picking up. I don't know about y'all, but over here things are it's been rough, man, with everything, business wise and everything else, working wise. So definitely scaling back until I can get a little bit back and try to put some more back into this. But yeah, definitely scaling back. So this not unboxing any kind of new locomotives, not buying no extravagant cars. I have plenty. I'm happy with what I got. It works, and it suits my need for my hobby, right? That's what's important. You don't need the biggest. You don't need the freshest. You don't need all that. As long as you're having fun with it, is what matters. Hello, Randall. How you doing, man? Yeah, definitely. See, I even got my freaking Hot Wheels, right? Getting onto Hot Wheels, man. I've just been having a blast with that, man. You buy them things for like $1.25 at the store, and as you know, don't say you don't because you do. You go down the car aisle and check those cars out when you go to Walmart. We all do, right? And you're like, man, I gotta have that. Absolutely. So to the new guys, I guess to wrap it all up, um, with the affordability, we kind of got off topic, but as you're doing these lives, that's the way it is. It gets off topic. We're not professional with things, should we say? Affordability. Do what you can do. Figure out what works for you. Do your research, and keeping it on a level that you can play on, right, is what's most important. Keeping it on that note. Anybody got something to add to that? Feel free to add it in the comments. Yeah, you go down that aisle. We all do. My wife is at one end. Well, let me go see over here. That thing just freaking runs, man. Even the small guys that's doing model railroading, especially on YouTube, the smaller people, and they're getting discouraged or their layout, whatnot. Don't be, because you play a part in model railroading. Also, you play a big part. You just don't see it. You're buying stuff from manufacturers. Manufacturers don't care how big of a model railroader you are. They don't care about that. They care about you buying the damn thing. So yeah, don't think that you're small and you're not contributing, because you are. You might not see it, but you are. It's your layout. Yeah. Amen. Amen. Oh man. Yeah. Do what the hell you man. I had so much. I don't want to. I'm not even gonna go into a rant with that, because I put it like this: the past 3 years to get to where I'm at was a fight. It was a fight. It was a fight of people telling me who I am, people trying to tell me what I can be. It was such a painful experience to get to this part, building on YouTube. I don't want to get too much into that, but I had a lot of that. I try to get ambitious and try to help people. And when y'all see me switch over to go into this ambition side of things, when I was filming, like the man with the sword and all, I was trying to help people, and I was getting a little ambitious. I had so much hate with that. I'm like, dude, chill. I'm just getting ambitious. I was being chastised or beat because I wanted to get ambitious on YouTube. Um, that made me look at things different, and it made me see things at a different point of view. It kind of it was really disappointing to see that how many people had my back in that time, and it wasn't many people. I was giving out a lot of good information and helping people the way I see it over here, trying to, and it just snap of a finger, chastised over getting ambitious. I remember that. But it's okay. We're in 2025, and those people that left me behind, I'm done with those days. And we're here now for the people that are here for H.P.T power training. I thank everybody that's here. And we make mistakes. We learn. We're only human. And people can't understand that. That's on them. That was a good thing you said, Huntsville. So I appreciate that. So, guys, yeah, Gmail, yeah, in my about page, UPR freelance. Yeah, I do. Yeah. Thank you for sticking around, by the way. And the people that did stick around, thank y'all. Again, it was such a letdown back then. People saw it different, and it was like, just getting a little ambitious. What's wrong with that? That has not stopped me, and I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing. Yeah, Randall, I hear you, man. Yeah, that's social media. Social media is like that. When you're on social media, it's gonna be like that. You get attacked. I've been through the ugliest stuff, the ugliest comments that will make anybody quit. But I prevailed through it, and I said, damn it, I'm not giving up. Okay, troll. Yeah, anytime, man. And that's the thing, you got to prevail through it. You have to, when you're on social media, somebody's not going to like what you got to say or what you believe in. They're not, people cuss, people take it to the extreme, and guess what? They got their people eating that shit up, right? So that's on them. Let them do what they want to do, and I'm doing what I want to do. Yeah, absolutely, Randall. I hear you, man. That's what I'm doing. It shook. It shut. it's shaking me up from a while back when I was doing it. When I was trying to get ambitious, and when I seen that on how many people just easily was to leave, and I've been down and out more than one time on my knees. I already knew that, who my friends were and where I'm at with this. Yeah. So you do what the hell you want to do. Don't ever, ever, ever let somebody tell you who you can and can't be. That's life is too short for that shit. You're your man. My daddy always told me you're a man one time, boy. That's how he told me. He said, you die, that's it. So you do what the hell you gotta do. We're not over here at the extreme hating and doing all kind. We're not doing that. We're doing a hobby the way we want to do it. So newbies, I hope this has helped you. That's what we build these layouts for. That's what we do the train stuff for. That's what we do the live stuff for. Don't be afraid. Get after it. Just like Randall and Troy said, do what the hell you want to do. And everybody has been sticking around and understand what we're doing here. And know that we're having fun, ambitious, and we're having fun with our stuff. Absolutely, Troy. Yep, I remember you from the old days. Yep, you never left, which was appreciative for me. Yeah, thank you. Absolutely, anytime, hit me up. That's what I tell everybody. Feel free to comment. And when we're doing these things, it's all ambitious. That's all. That's what it's about. I'm not this whatever. Alrighty, guys, I'm out of here. Thank y'all. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. See y'all later, guys. Later, Randall. Later, Troy.